All right, this is another round of the 10-minute warm-up, and we're going to take this pretty heavily into the hips here. So to get this started, bring yourself to a seat and take a cross-legged position. Bring your right leg in first and then the left leg in front. And prick your hands up off the floor, and so you can bring your legs into a position where you can actually sit this upright. So if your hips are real tight and the knees are up high, let your feet go forward, let your knees go a little bit wider. And if you want to bring the feet further across, just again, make sure you can sit this upright. Now I want you to just bring your fingertips down to the floor, curl the toes of both feet, and then just to warm up your hips here, keep your shoulders pulled back, keep your chest open, hinge from the hips, fold down as low as you can, and then lift back up. And then again, chest open, shoulders back, bring this forward, and then come back up. Keep your feet tense, fold this forward again, lead with your chest. And then lift back up. We'll do it 2 more times on this side. Bring it forward again, far as you can go. And then lift back up. And then 1 more time. Shoulders back, chest forward. Press your feet into the floor. Lift back up, and then switch it out. Left foot in first, right leg in front. And again, adjust this. You can actually sit up tall without having to use your hands. And then just bring your fingertips down to your sides. We'll do the same thing again. Keep your shoulders pulled back. Keep your chest open. Hinge from the hips. Come down low over your legs. And then lift back up. Keep your feet tense, keep your toes curled, bring this forward. And then come back upright. 3 more times, chest forward, shoulders back. And then lift back up. 2 more times, bring your chest forward. And then come back up. 1 more time, keep your feet tense, bring this down as low as you can. And then lift back up. And then just go ahead, bring the soles of the feet together. We're going to move through Baddha Konasana. And I want you to bring your weight to the right hip and move from the left. So pivot from the left hip, bring the left knee down toward your right heel. Keep the toes of both feet curled and keep the legs tense. Turn to the right. Right hand down behind you, left hand outside the right thigh. And then look over the right shoulder, stretch the top of your head up toward the ceiling. Keep your feet pressing into the floor. And then release it. Turn back to center. Switch this out. Lift your left leg. Feet to touch for a moment. And then pivot from the right hip. Bring the right knee down toward your left heel. Left hand behind, right hand outside the left thigh. Sit up tall, crown of head toward the ceiling. Look over your left shoulder. And then release it. Turn back to center. Lift the right knee. Feet together for a moment. Right hand behind, left hand outside the right thigh. Bring the left knee down outside the right heel. And again, sit this up tall. Find that twist. And if you want to take it deeper, here's the option. So keep the right hand down, but bring the left elbow down past the right thigh. Either way, still look over the right shoulder, whether you're on the left hand or on the left forearm. Now keep your left knee pressed into the floor. Lift that left foot up as high as you can as you're twisting. And then set the foot down. And then bring it up a second time high as you can go. And bring the foot to the floor. 1 more time, lift your left foot as high as you can as you're twisting. Keep holding. And then bring the foot down. Come up onto both hands, lean back. Bring the feet together for a moment. Come over to your left side. Left hand behind, right hand outside to your left thigh. Bring the right knee down to your left heel. And keep the toes of both feet curled. Now, again, sit up tall, crown of the head toward the ceiling. Use the right arm, press into your left leg, and work the twist as deeply as you can. And if you want to take it down lower, come down with the right forearm on the floor, right elbow pressing to your left thigh. And keep your twist. You're still looking over your left shoulder. Now, if you can take it further here, well, actually give it a try either way, but press your right knee to the floor, lift the right foot up as high as you can, and then set it down. Lift your right foot up high again, and then set it back down. 1 more time. Work to lift the right foot high as you can go and hold, and then set it back down, and then turn back to center. Bring the feet together for just a moment. Just shake your legs out a little bit. I'm just going to turn from the camera here. So keep your hands behind you and set the feet flat in front. Now feet about hips width distance apart, hands about shoulder width, and then fingertips out to the sides. Go ahead, press into the floor just if you see a little bit off the mat. And then to warm this up, just crab walk this. Shift your weight side to side, walk to the back of your mat. And then reverse direction and walk all the way to the front. Now once you make it to the front, walk this all the way back again. Just lean side to side. Don't think about this too hard. You'll mess it up that way. And once you make it to the back of the mat, walk this forward. Let's see if I can actually talk smoothly here. Now from the front of the mat, walk it back 1 more time, but just come back into center. And set yourself down for a moment. And we'll just set this up for reverse tabletop. So feet in front of you, hips width, hands behind the shoulders, shoulder width, palms down. Fingertips to the side, or if you can, try to rotate your fingertips in the direction of your feet. Now go ahead, press down, lift your seat up off the floor. And let's take this up and down. With an inhale, press your hips high, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, sink this down. Inhale, lift your hips up again. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, press this up high. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, lift your hips again. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, press up high and just hold this time. Keep your glutes squeezing. And I'm going to recommend you bring your chin to your chest to look forward or look up toward the ceiling, but keep your head relatively lifted here. Keep your glutes squeezing. Squeeze your knees toward each other as you hold this and keep breathing. Take an inhale. And then with the exhale, come back down. Shake your hands out for just a moment. And we'll take it up for a second round. Now, this is going to be just slightly different. We're working with some of the engagement of the inner thighs and working some of the internal rotation of the hips. So I want you to set your feet hips width distance, but turn the toes in towards center so the big toes are closer to each other than the heels are, and the feet are still about hips width distance apart. Now, hands behind the shoulders, about shoulder width. Again, fingertips to the side, or maybe rotate the fingers forward. But go ahead, lift your seat up off the floor. Be sure the toes are pointing in towards center, and then take it up and down here. So with an inhale, press your hips up high, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, lift your hips up again. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, press this up high. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, lift this up again. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, press up one more time. Hold here. Now keep your glutes squeezing. Pull the knees toward each other. Keep breathing. Take an inhale. And with the exhale, come all the way down. Once you're down, again, shake your hands out for just a moment. And then go ahead, cross at the ankles, come forward, your hands in all fours. And then once you're in all fours, we're going to take this into the wrist. Now keep your hips stacked over your knees, but slide the hands in close, within a couple hands lengths of your knees. Flip your hands over, backs of the hands down, palms up. The fingertips point toward the midline of the mat. Now spread your fingers out wide and then slide the hands in so that the fingers are interlaced. Now keep your palms open, your fingertips pressing down. Straighten your arms as much as you can. You can always bring the hands in closer if it gets too intense, or go further forward if you want more pressure. But keep your fingertips pressing down, lift your spine. And then just go back and forth from here. Flip your hands over, palms down. And then flip them again, palms facing up. And just keep on switching positions like this. Now, as you go back and forth, re-engage each time you reset your hands. Spread the fingers out wide, press the fingertips down. Try to straighten your arms at least briefly. And again, you can bring the hands close in if you want to go light. You can go further forward if you want more pressure. And the next time you end up with the palms facing up, just hold that position. And again, press into the fingertips, keep your spine lifted. And then just for a little bit of movement here, keep the weight forward toward your hands, but step the right foot back, big toe as far left as you can go. And then bring the right knee down to the floor. Bring the left big toe over to your right side far as you can take it, and then left knee down. Right big toe over to the left again, and then come back into center. Left big toe over to the right, and then back to center here. Right big toe over to your left one more time, and then come back to center. Left big toe over to the right one more time. And then back to center. Now come up onto the fingertips and down to sitting on your heels, and take a moment, shake your hands out, loosen up your fingers and loosen up your wrists. And then one more thing before we move on to really warm this up. Bring yourself into all fours. Now wrists under the shoulders, knees underneath your hips here to start. Now step the right foot forward outside your right hand and keep the shoulders over your wrists. Now bend to the elbows, sink down inside the right thigh, move back, forward, side to side. You can circle around and just feel any stretch on the inner right thigh if you're tight. And then press in your hands and bring your right knee down, switch it out. Left foot forward outside your left hand. Bend the elbows, sink down inside the left thigh. And again, move around, forward, back, side to side. You can circle around here. And then press in your hands. Come back to center with both knees down. Now step the right foot forward outside your right hand. And this time, tuck the toes of your left foot and lift your left knee. Keep your shoulders stacked over your wrists and keep your palms pressed down. Now just to switch it out, go slow. Step the right foot back so the feet come together, come into high plank. And then step your left foot forward outside your left hand. Step your left foot back, come into plank again. And then right foot forward outside the right hand. Keep your weight forward on your hands. Now start to move your hips straight up and down. And we're going to go back and forth. Now, ideally, we're going to hop this, and if you prefer, if the hopping's too much, you can just walk it back and forth like we just did. But otherwise, keep your hips moving up and down. The higher your hips go, the more time and space you have to move, and we're going to do this on 3. So on my count, 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to take a few more rounds. I want you to focus, pressing your palms, get your hips high as you can, and try to land your feet silently. So from here, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One last round. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and bring both knees down to the floor. Come down to sitting on your heels. Shake your hands out for just a moment. And that is this round of the 10-minute warm-up. Thank you very much.